raised the bar high, and we have to show the same, reflect the same exuberance now. So hey everyone, how are you? So here we have our advisors, and if you have heard the amazing versatile profiles, everyone is from a different background. And that's why we will be having questions accordingly. And a very, very important factor is they are homegrown. I'd say that most of them are from Chandigarh, Punjab region. So that love for raising the bar and bringing Punjab's ecosystem at par with other ecosystems across country and globally is very much shared by all the gentlemen here. And the lady, of course. So with that, I would first like to ask Mr. Atul, and I'm using the script here. So Mr. Atul, you are a great success story of India. You've mentored and you've been instrumental in helping a lot of startups already. And your forte is sales, if I understand right. So during that entire journey of startups, how do you see the association of Punjab Angel Network become a mutual beneficial relationship, and how do you think you can or you are actually adding to the ecosystem and helping Punjab Angels grow? Your vision.
Okay, first of all, thanks for hosting me here. This is my third or fourth event with Punjab Angels now. And I'll just go back a bit in history, not much, but just 20 years. When I graduated from Punjab Engineering College, Chandigarh से अपना काफी पुराना रिश्ता है. एंड उस टाइम से लेके आज तक मेरा एक ही ड्रीम है, मुझे चंडीगढ़ में सेटल होना है. तो मेरे पास यहाँ अपॉर्चुनिटी नहीं, ठीक है. अब प्रॉब्लम क्या है कि वी आर टू बिजी थिंकिंग अबाउट माइग्रेशन टू यूएसए, ऑस्ट्रेलिया एटसेट्रा एटसेट्रा. हमने कभी यही नहीं सोचा कि एंटायर चंडीगढ़ इज माइग्रेटिंग टू बैंगलोर, गुड़गांव, बॉम्बे. चंडीगढ़ इज द एजुकेशन हब ऑफ नॉर्थ इंडिया में भी और इंडिया में भी वन ऑफ द लीडिंग सिटीज. पीयू यहाँ है, टेक यहाँ है, पीजीआई यहाँ है, सब कुछ है यहाँ पे, लेकिन अपॉर्चुनिटी नहीं. अब एंड वन मोर थिंग, देयर इज समथिंग अबाउट द एयर ऑफ चंडीगढ़ कि आपको आते ही ना एक्साइटमेंट शुरू हो जाती है. आप मेरिट में खाने के लिए तो आप चावला भी जाते हो खाना खाने, बट क्योंकि वही है बस चंडीगढ़ में कुछ है नहीं, अनफॉर्चुनेटली. दैट्स द प्रॉब्लम. I always ask, my company is headquartered in Bangalore, I work out of Gurgaon, and I always keep asking myself, चंडीगढ़ को प्रॉब्लम क्या है? प्रॉब्लम क्या है? कभी किसी ने सोचा नहीं कि यहाँ कुछ शुरू कर लेते हैं. तो मैंने came in touch with साहिल around 1.5 years ago. मैं एक इवेंट पे आया हुआ था. तब से मैं almost every 2 months 3 months ये बुला ही लेते हैं मुझे किसी न किसी रीजन से. तब से मैंने फर्स्ट टाइम ये पूछा, मैंने कहा यार ये कुछ करते क्यों नहीं तुम लोग? तो he said यार प्रॉब्लम क्या है कि कौन करे, तो शुरू तो करते हैं कहीं से. एंड दैट इज व्हाट आई थिंक ऑल ऑफ अस नीड टू डू. और ये हम किसी के लिए नहीं, अपने लिए कर रहे हैं. सेल्फिश रीजन है, मेरे को चंडीगढ़ सेटल होना है, आज नहीं तो कल पक्का. जिस दिन कोई ढंग की कंपनी खोल दो तो पक्का आ जाऊंगा, गारंटी दे रहा हूँ. मेरे को शहर से अलग प्यार है और बहुतों को है. और मैं ये कोई कॉन्डिसेंडिंग एटीट्यूड नहीं कह रहा कि यार मुझे ही चंडीगढ़ आना है. भाई मेरा सेल्फिश रीजन है, मेरे को बहुत अच्छा लगता है ये शहर एक्चुअली बहुत अच्छा है, सिर्फ अपॉर्चुनिटीज की कमी है. और बहुत लोग बहुत कुछ करना चाहते हैं, किसी को पता नहीं करना क्या है. मैं अभी काफी लोगों, मतलब ऑलमोस्ट ऑल द पीपल हियर हु आर रेगुलर्स हियर वी हैव मेट एंड यू ऑलवेज थॉट कि क्या करना है, कुछ पता ही नहीं क्या करना है. तो आई थिंक साहिल और पैन और बहुत सारे लोग मिलके ये सब कर रहे हैं. एंड मेरा सिंपल आंसर ये है मैडम, म्यूचुअली बेनिफिशियल तब होते हैं जब दोनों लोग सोचते हैं कुछ करने को. एंड पीपल लाइक विवेक सर, सुधीर जी, इकबाल जी, मतलब ये सब लोग तो एक अलग लेवल पहुंच चुके हैं. इन्होंने कर लिया, लाइफ में अचीव कर लिया. करना हमको है इसके बाद. आई थिंक इनकी गाइडेंस, और अगर ये लोग हमें हेल्प दे रहे हैं, सपोर्ट दे रहे हैं, तो वी शुड बी फीलिंग लाइक कि मंदिर में प्रसाद मिल रहा है, भाई हाथ आए करोगे तो मिलेगा. और करने से होता है. वो एक मिनट और लूंगा मैं, सॉरी. एक ना बंदा रोज मंदिर जाता था, भगवान लॉटरी निकाल दे, लेकिन थप्पड़ आ भगवान, लॉटरी डाल तो सही नहीं. तो हमारी प्रॉब्लम वही है, कुछ कर दो चंडीगढ़ में, तू ही कर ले. तो मेरी एक रिक्वेस्ट है, यहाँ बहुत सारे फाउंडर्स हैं, बहुत सारे इन्वेस्टर्स हैं, लेट्स डू समथिंग यार. बनाते हैं इसको, कुछ करते हैं, इस जगह में कुछ करते हैं. और चंडीगढ़ नहीं हरियाणा पंजाब हिमाचल सब कुछ करते हैं. This region needs to come up. We can't be just be the wheat producing wheat bowl of India. Most fertile region, most highest number of per capita Mercedes in India, Ludhiana. वो कर लिया, खा पी लिया, हो गया. काम करते हैं.
Well said.
Very well, sir. Thank you, sir. So I would rather ask all the panelists here the same questions that you all are associated with Punjab Angels Network. And you have experiences, you have been part of the journey thus far. So, what is your vision towards Punjab Angels Network? How do you contribute? What you can contribute? And what is your experience being being part of Punjab Angels Network?
एक पॉइंट और रह गया. एक चीज और रह गई मेरी कि जो हम ऑलरेडी चीजें हो रही, लेट्स स्टार्ट working together in this area. For example, अभी आप कैपटेक का देखोगे ऑस्ट्रेलिया का, 25-30 people already are enrolled, right? साहिब 25-30 लोग हैं. 25-30 क्यों? बाकी लोग क्या कर रहे हो यार? मैं तो जा रहा हूँ ऑस्ट्रेलिया पक्का, मेरी तो टिकट भी होगी. ठीक है, तो लेट्स गो देयर. वहां पे रमन जी बैठे हैं, बहुत सारे लोग हैं. लेट्स गो देयर, लेट्स कैच दैट अपॉर्चुनिटी.
And I agree with him. I am from Haryana, grew up in Yamunanagar.
इसको ऐसे लो.
Grew up in Yamunanagar, studied in Kurukshetra, spent some time in Delhi, then Bombay, last 10 years in Singapore. I think building an ecosystem involves not only the high spirits of people or the passion, but also coming together of the various ingredients as we make any dish. For example, you need academia, you need industry, you need investors, you need customers, you need team to build anything which is meaningful. The other change that we see in the overall global marketplace now is post the advent of technology. And now almost every business is now a technology business in some sense or the other. The businesses are no more very local unless and until you're doing something which is absolutely last mile, where you need a foot on street. Other than that, and as we are seeing in almost every business, you need to be a global player. You need to be competing with a global company heads on, and you need to build something which is meaningful all over the world, even if you are selling locally or whatever you want to do. I met Sahil through a common friend, Anupam, around 4 months back. I said, hey, this is my passion. I want to do something, and I think there is magic that can be done. It's kind of a wide space, very little action, but it is ripe for action. There is the basic ingredients are already there. Whether it is capital, whether it's talent, whether it is market, whether it's government support, for example, I think this is the right time. We all just need to come together and really create that magic. And it will need everyone to, you need to all kind of chime in with whatever you can do. And probably in 3 to 5 years, we can actually see some interesting outcome out of this.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Iqbal ji, आपके vision and your journey so far.
So, what Punjab Angel Network is doing, I think I've already shared my passion from last 4 years, 5 years was 4 E's, and one E of them is entrepreneurship. If I reflect back in my journey of 20-year entrepreneurship and still struggling, I left Citibank in 2004. Very good salary, solid package, and solid good cabin, but there was a kida to become an entrepreneur. And I personally, feeling there was no ecosystem at that particular point in time. I don't know, I'm saying if I reflect back now, last 19-20 years, so 4-5 years back, I think with the grace of Almighty, I have traveled across the globe. I think Chandigarh is the best city to live in. So I just recently, today itself, I came from Sambar I was with Mr. Kamlesh for last 2 days, who is the CMD of, I don't know how many people are aware of Hindustan Salt Limited, and largest place, 2 hours from Jaipur. So he actually turned around that company, which was PSU. So what I want to share with you is that when we talk about entrepreneurship, I think the best ecosystem today we have in Tri-City in terms of physical infrastructure. This is a beautiful city to live in, and it is also known as retiremental city to live in, and it has become now aspirational for many states to have something in Tri-City. But still, on the relatively basis, I personally feel the kind of infrastructure which we have, and the kind of luxury which we have today. I'm just looking at the air quality index and the temperature and everything. In 1 hour drive, you are in the hills, and temperature is 15 degree, and 20 degree at Kasoli today. So the point is that God has given everything in terms of the nature. But we always run, because we have acquired one large business in Bangalore. I'm saying infrastructure is, I think if you have to go from one place to another place, or in NCR, we have to think twice that can we arrange 2 meetings or 3 meetings. And the kind of technology and system which we have today, you have to connect globally. I think with the advent of technology and all that stuff, everything can be done from anywhere. So, what we want to do, or why I have invested, or I have collaborated with Sahil, is basically what we can do differently, and I think Sahil is doing a good job because he has taken a different path, and he's trying to create that kind of an ecosystem, which I think we were not have lucky enough to have that ecosystem. And at the same time, and definitely I shared earlier also, there is something called a materialistic wealth, and up to one extent you require materialistic wealth, and the second step is you have to create a social wealth. And if you have to create a social wealth, I think this is one of the things which you have, what you can give back to community and society. And we would like to create, and he has taken that step, so I am always there with him, standing as a rock, that whatever he is doing, and we would like to all of us, in fact, in that ecosystem, I would request all of us, whether we talk about stakeholder, investors, startup, word of mouth we have to spread, mentoring, guidance. Like we were very happy today that Mr. Vivek Atray has joined us as an advisor on our board, because I think that will establish more credibility of the platform, and at the same time, it will also help the youngsters. I'm saying the passion, the spark. हमारे ज़माने में हमारे फादर साहब ने 35 साल नौकरी करी. Honestly, he was a director agriculture, then on deputation agronomist. I think the point here is that what we want to give today. Earlier we only look at the basic needs. I think the next generation is not worried about the basic needs today. They want to create an impact. They want to do something different. Because their basic need has been taken care of. वो fear जो होता था 15-20 साल 25 साल पहले कि यार घर का नहीं कौन चलाएगा, single person, and family is dependent on him or her. So I think today the risk-taking ability of the youngsters is very high. But what we have to make sure in a Angel Network, and what we are doing right now in Punjab Angel Network, is basically shortening the distance, which we took 20 years to build, they will build in 3 years or 4 years. Right kind of guidance, mentoring, training, grooming, connecting. I think that is the story which we have to rewrite. And definitely, we are very happy that we are all Indians, but we would like that, although everybody is trying to create an ecosystem, Chandigarh Angel Network, Punjab Mission, PAN. So I want that now we have a very, very solid, committed team here with the PAN, with Anuradha, Govind, and our team is also supporting, headed by Sahil Makkar. So we want to create that PAN should take the lead and create the best, I think, homegrown companies, who can become. We have to think in Citibank, my last assignment, we have to only think big. So the point is we have to think. What if we think, then we will build. So we have to start thinking that we have to build a unicorn. That thinking has to come. I think kahin to pahunch jayenge. So that is very, very important. The one thing which I learned in Citibank is think big. Supne to bade le hum, kahin to pahunchenge hi.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Iqbal ji. Thank you. So that brings me to Vivek ji. Sir, your journey, your experience, and I will also put my question to you. Throughout the various ups and downs of a startup's journey, we see different set of skills required, be it resilience, culture, mindset, and I see that you've been working a lot on mindset. So, how does the mindset get changed, improvised? Where do you come? Because you come there. So, your experience, your journey, your vision, and how you will help us further.
Thank you so much, Anuradha. Actually, it's a pleasure to be advising the Punjab Angels Network, and Sahil and I were in Amritsar. Anuradha ma'am was also there. We were driving back when we discussed this. I think it's a great opportunity to work together. And what Atul and Sandeep ji and Iqbal ji have said, I totally agree and resonate. In fact, Iqbal ji basically gave the same keynote address that I gave a little while ago, because we think alike for the last many years, and he's absolutely right when he says that we have to basically think alike and also work alike. But I want to give two practical suggestions before I come to the mindset. I think what Punjab Angels Network can do, Sahil, and all the people in this room can do, maybe one by one or two at a time or three at a time. I'll be very happy to connect with you with all the educational institutions in this region, where luckily for me I go and speak many a time. Very happy to take somebody along also. And that youngster who's still in college or school is already thinking of a startup. Many of them are, and some of them, even a class 8 boy from Ludhiana is in touch with me about his startup. So and I'm pretty senior, so I put some youngster to guide him first, and then, the thing is that we need to engage with the youth, which Iqbal ji mentioned, and what Atul says that then he will gladly come here, because something has to then come up and germinate from that process. So the first practical suggestion is we engage meaningfully with educational institutions, and the academia industry tie-up is really meaningful, and it is not limited to one-off events, but it becomes a 3-month project for the student, for example, and he or she, maybe there's a club in that college which is a startup club or an e-cell or something they have nowadays. So these guys are very meaningfully inclined towards entrepreneurship. So we take on them, we know their names, we give them roles, and somebody is monitoring all the college clubs and stuff. I'm sure they will be happy to make their own units. Secondly, I think the culture and the mindset is pretty much the same all over India. I went to Vijayawada recently, I went to Chennai, I went to Mussoorie, I went to a lot of places where I see the youth has the same fire, the same energy, and the same purity of thought also. All the vitiation comes later, वो दिल्ली वाले टाइप बन जाते हैं बाद में. इसलिए मैं भी दिल्ली में पैदा हूँ, I am also from Delhi. So what I am trying to say is कि वो जो एक impurity आ जाती है वो बाद में आती है, उस वक्त नहीं होती कॉलेज में. What I am trying to say is कि उसको हम किस तरफ ले जा सकते हैं, वो हमारे हाथ में. वो एक बार बिगड़ गया, फिर उसको पहले सुधारना पड़ेगा, उसके बाद उसको आगे ले जाना पड़ेगा. So we catch them young, we take these pure thoughts and ideas to the next level, and people like us in this room, even the youngest entrepreneur in this room, has enough capability and experience to go and talk to them. And perhaps they will connect more with him or her, and they will see in them what they could be after 3 years or 4 years or 5 years or whatever it is. So that meaningful engagement. As regards the brother's question on mindset, I think whatever your technology, whatever your core area, whatever your area of study, you have to be a leader. Everybody needs to lead. And I tell all these very hi-fi IIT types that after a while your computer science will not be required. Your leadership skills will be required, even within 3 years. All of us will probably say the same thing. He's not going to be coding after 5 years. He's going to be leading a team which has people. And those people are pop-ups of different kinds. Some of them are, the aggressive type. The mindset to deal with an aggressive team member has to be stable, has to be firm, has to be vigilant. And then the mindset to deal with a silent type of person who is shy, introvertish, needs encouragement is entirely different. You cannot scold this person ever, even in your sleep, because he or she will never be able to sleep if he or she hears you scolding. Whereas that aggressive guy needs that bit of toning down. So what I'm trying to say, our mindset has to be that of a leader. And there are lots of nuances involved in leadership. And I'm going to close on a humorous note, not a very long panel. So I went to 2 places, one in North India and one in South India. So nothing against North India or South India. I went and my title of my session was The Nuances of Leadership. And I was introduced. Mr. Vivek Atray will now speak on the nuisances of leadership. So I was like, और पंजाब में और आंध्र में दोनों ने nuisances बोला, तो इसलिए और वैसे around 80 people said something correct. I'm not saying everybody said, but I'm trying to say कि life में बहुत कुछ है सीखने. So let's keep learning, let's keep getting involved and improving the mindset to that of a leader, a true leader, and a leader has to be a role model.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vivekji. And when you said leadership, so we have to change our leadership, as sir suggested, as per the audience, as per the team we are handling. So we can be autocratic, we can have autocratic leadership, we can have democratic leadership, or we have to keep switching between various leaderships when we are at it. So thank you so much, well received, sir. So, Sandeep ji, no, I am not going to team up on you. So, given your global experience, and we all know that he comes from Singapore, and he has coached or mentored a lot of startups before. Can you share your cross-border initiatives and globalization view of Punjab Angels Network? And also, the more important question is, why not? Why Chandigarh is still not a global city? Sandeep ji is here, then why not?
So Chandigarh is a global city. I think we need to first say that loudly.
Let's clap for that. Chandigarh is a global city.
It is a global city. It's an education hub. It's a healthcare hub. There's so many things which have come out of Chandigarh. So I think Chandigarh is a global city. Traditionally, there have been many industries which have come from this part of the country. I think where it kind of lagged a bit was on technology side, which has seen stupendous growth. If we see in India, it's about Bangalore, Chennai, NCR region, or Hyderabad, or now of late Pune, which have really taken the lead in this space. But it's not that Chandigarh doesn't have the skills or anything. It's all about a few people coming together. Go back to the history of Thai. Early 90s, 7 people met for dinner in US, in California, in San Francisco, and in Bay Area, and they decided to form Thai with Kaval Rekhi and others. And the rest is history. Thai has definitely created magic. Started in US, has done exceedingly well even in India. But again, as things change, organizations face their own challenges. And that's where, as in any other business, this business or this initiative also needs new players, it needs new thoughts, the next generation of leadership, the evolving mindsets. And I think that's where the story of PAN comes in. It's a region which is very rich in resources. For example, one of the things that which I think Sahil will announce of late, I can take some fire out of it, that we are planning some good cohorts which are not something that you hear about very commonly. Like you hear about fintech and healthcare and some of these so-called hot areas, but we are going to do some things which are very, very relevant to the region as well. And the reason is the region is very rich in those resources. It has a lot of capability, and I think what we need to do is build on innovation or bring in innovation on top of those capabilities, that infrastructure that exists. And today we have speakers, like we'll have panels later on, people from CDAC, so many other universities around. So there's a huge amount of resource base which is here, and which also includes capital, by the way. We think there's no capital here, there's significant capital in this fund. The only thing is it's primarily deployed in real estate, but that's the reality in any part of the world. Even in US, if you look, the hubs, they have not been able to even replicate San Francisco or Bay Area in any other part of US. So it's not easy. So let's not kid ourselves by saying that, hey, let's build this and we'll build the next Bangalore here in next 2 years or 3 years. It's not possible. Bangalore has a lead, NCR has a lead in different businesses. Again, within startups also. And so probably Chandigarh has a space. We can carve out leads in certain areas, which is a strong point in this part of the country, and then build on those and bring in other things. So I'll say it's a journey, and it's not going to be easy. But probably this is the right time. Right resources are there. There's a right intent also, which is there.
An emergency reported in the building. Leave the building.
I think there's a fire alarm. रिसोर्स से शायद फायर भी आ गया यार. ये नहीं चाहिए था. Yeah. So I think it's a bit of hard work that we all have to do, but I think we can be there in 3 to 5 years. We can be so as we all, as Iqbal was also saying, that probably we are 20 years behind. But I think we can cover that distance in the next 3 to 4 years. It's not difficult, but we all need to put our heads together. We need to put in a bit of hard work, but it's possible.
Sandeep ji, about the cross-border initiatives.
Yeah. So, sorry, I missed that point. Sahil has already undertaken one of the cross-border initiatives. For example, what we are doing with Australia. But I think we also need to build bridges with the key areas, like let's say Bay Area. We need to work with a few leading accelerators, incubators, and institutions there, and even some startup funds. We need to do a strong cross-border with similar markets like Indonesia. But I think that can be driven out of Singapore itself, because Singapore is very closely tied, linked with Indonesia, Thailand, Malaysia, Vietnam. So we need to kind of create this hub and spoke model as we go. Again, as I say, it's a 3 to 5 year effort, but we've already made some initiations on that front. We'll all see some of that coming out with results in the next 3 to 6 months.
Thank you. And my last question is for Iqbal ji. Iqbal ji, you are a major investor. Don't turn me out for asking this question. We'll deal with it later. So my question is, why Chandigarh? Why aren't you investing in Bangalore? So what is it in the city, or is it that, why are you investing in Chandigarh and not Bangalore?
We have last investment we did last week in Bangalore itself.
Okay.
So it's not. So we are not restricted to that. That is one. But definitely I am biased, a little bit biased. So I was in Rajasthan, that's why I shared with you. So I realized when I was in Sambar from last 2 days with the CMD, Mr. Kamlesh, who have turned around Hindustan Salt Limited. You know, I'm saying it's 112 kilometers we traveled and see, we have saw, all those things. So what I want to share with you is that why I am concerned here, because I am a homegrown from government school in Mohali. and then moved to engineering college, government engineering college. Then my study was in Hyderabad, IBS. Then in Wharton on investment strategies in US. So the point is that I am really concerned that what we can give back to our community and society, the youngsters, and I am definitely biased, but I'm not biased to Punjab. We were sharing with Sandeep, it is going to North Indian Angel Network. PAN is going to be North Indian Angel Network, where we have to cover up all the 7 agrarian states. And my objective is that from this agrarian state, we should produce people in service sector, because that is the sector which is growing and it is continue to grow, whether we talk about EdTech, whether we talk about BFSI space. So anything linked to those things which is coming in, we would like that people would start that and they will create an entrepreneurship, they will create an employability. And because it is a coming sector and you have to service from anywhere today across the, whether Chandigarh is basically, again I have shared with you, because of hard infrastructure. We have to put in soft infrastructure in this.
Absolutely.
Because other cities have soft infrastructure but very hard infrastructure. So here we have a very good ecosystem, very good hard infrastructure. I think that will help us to build, and definitely we have to cover Punjab, Haryana, Himachal, Rajasthan, UP, Uttaranchal, Jammu and Kashmir.
Wow.
So that should be the area, and what we can give back to community and society, and it won't happen by Iqbal Singh or Punjab Angel Network. We have to create that kind of an ecosystem. We have to create that kind of a system where we have to give back, not in Mandir and Gurdwara, but we have to give them, time, money, resources to youngsters. I think यही हमारा दसवंध होगा.
Absolutely, absolutely. Very well said. Can we have a huge round of applause for Iqbal ji? Because that is what it really means to him, and that is why this question was to rub on him that, we want to be that preferred, we want you to be biased towards Chandigarh, because we have that feeling that yes, Chandigarh needs to grow and we need to grow the ecosystem, the startup ecosystem here. And thank you so much, Atul ji, Sandeep ji and Iqbal ji, for being here, being the advisors of Punjab Angels. Your being the investors and the advisors really means a lot to us. If you see that we have different backgrounds, we all have a different background. Sales is here, mindset, Vivek Atray ji, and that is what we want to bring to the entire ecosystem here. I would close the panel discussion here. Our panelists are here till evening, so please feel free to ask any questions about the vision of Punjab Angels and about their own areas of expertise, because I'm sure that even 1 minute of chat with them will take you a long way. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.